some of the grinding that I had to do to the inside of this resin cast body. And yes, I plan on making it in Orlando to anyone that hasn't seen it before. You can tell how thick it is. I can't remember the name of the man that made them. They were slosh molds. 132 scale. It's relatively heavy. I cut the bumpers off of it. Did all the painting by hand. All the rust. It's two different shades of blue on it. I don't remember exactly which ones. It's a Ford, it's American. Ignore those Chinese letters in there. Chinese characters. Made in America, not China. Anyway, wanted to show my little Mercury Monarch. This is, I cut the windows open. You can see the pits, and it's going to be a hell of a project. I did open the holes up in the bumper. You can see around the headlight where there's little areas that have to be popped out, scraped out. More filler on the bumpers, bumperettes. The rear window and front window still have to be cut out. I'll get this to focus. I will probably remove the headlights and taillights and make some. It's just not a good casting. You can see the word Mercury, and right there across the back, it's not going to focus on it. It says Monarch. It's like a 75, 76 Mercury Monarch. I own a 79 Ford Granada two-door hardtop, and that's the only reason I bought this. Buying the original model is the last one I saw on eBay, unbuilt, sold for over $150, and that was the complete kit, snapped together. It's an extremely rare model kit, hard to find. I've missed 20 opportunities to buy it, always outbid. But anyway, just showing, cleaning up the interior of the body, trying to thin it down, get some of that slosh out of it. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but breathing that stuff in is not cool. But I can't find my masks, so it is what it is. I washed it in detergent and warm water a few days ago and started cleaning it up on the inside here. And it's still really thick in a lot of areas. The dark spots are the thick spots. You see how thick it is down through the sides. I'm assuming polyester resin, just basic fiberglass resin without the fiberglass in it. I've done lots that way before, but these are all for sale on eBay. I thought the eBay store was gone. I was mistaken. It is still there. In other words, if a person wants this, they can still buy one. He does still make them and sell them. So And then the van, if I can find it, there it is. The van body, I cut the van completely down and made it a pickup cab over, basically. I like doing the rusty paint on them. Three projects. And I do have a big box van that I'm going to show. I hand built this several years ago and never finished it. I'll start with showing the inside so you can see how many pieces it is. Well, kinda. This is all just flat sheet styrene, except for the wheel arches. The wheel arches on the rear came off of a Jeep, a Willys Jeep. But that's the inside. You can see each piece cut and glued in, and it is just super glue. It can pop apart very easy. And this is what happens after watching Jeepers Creepers. Just gotta do something funky. It's dirty. Ignore the dust if you can. I don't know what model the grill came out of. It is out of something else. And that was basically kind of where I was going with this. It's kind of like an old bread truck. I don't know if it'll show up when I clean some of the dust off. It's a really badass temporary tattoo style transfer on there. It is not going to show up. There we go. It'd all show up a lot better if I wouldn't have painted the thing black and not put a white backing behind it, but anyway. This side's a lot cleaner. You see all the dust, a lot of this dust on it is from the cleaning of the Mercury Monarch the other day, cleaning the interior resin. And the back doors do open. I've got them taped in. The side door, same thing, it does open, just that one door. Each piece hand cut. The curves on the roof in the front and rear were not easy to do. And it shows right here. If you look right above the doors, if I get this on camera, it bubbled out right there in the middle, which is kind of cool. When I finished it, I was like, well, I'll go with it. But I plan on putting an Orlando chassis under this too, I think. I don't know. It's more 125 scale than anything else, but that's about it. I did some sanding on the little hydro pickle fork, trying to get it smoothed out. It is actually really smooth now, but I know it's still, there's some rough spots right here. You just gotta get your fingers in where you can and feel it for smoothness. It's really rough right here, right there. And the sides are concave, I guess. They kind of curve in a little, so that's a little difficult to sand. Basically just knocking down all the high stuff, and then I'm going to put on another coat of epoxy, or get some lacquer and lacquer it real good. I'll probably do another thin coat of epoxy because we got an open spot right here. It's not open all the way through, but it's a pocket, and I've got to fill that. Same within in here. I'm going to fill those, kind of contour it in. This side's not as bad as the other one, but there is a little. And I've also got the points to work on more. I do have them filled more, but there's still a lot to do to shape those right. I haven't done any sanding on the inside. It's sealed completely on the inside. I am not gonna sand that, rough or not, because it is thick on the inside, not thick enough that it really makes it too heavy. There's no weight to this at all, hardly. I wish I had a scale to weigh it, but sanded a little engine cover, I guess you'd call it. And when I did that, I noticed this side sits really nice. Not perfect, but really nice. Turn it around, it warped. It bowed. So I've got to fix that. Probably just sand the bottom and wet it and bend it. Soak it with a little bit of Windex. Oh, and I did make something that I don't know if I'll use for this or not, but it kind of doesn't fit right, but I might use it on the hydro. Thought it was going to work, but it don't. Just kind of doesn't fit it good. So haven't really done anything to it. Oh, my gear fell out. It's that tiny little gear. I have to get some metal ones like these. Just been cutting balsa, and I went and bought some more. A big sheet, and it's a lot thicker. So I've already cut quite a bit off of it. It was cracked on one end, and I cut a piece off, pretty good size, to make the top to this one and the interior. And this is thicker. See, the other boat, this is 1/32 thickness, the majority of it. Almost the entire thing is 1/32 thickness. There's a few bits in it. There is basswood in it that's 1/16, I think. But there's bits in it that are from the RC airplane wings. I said RC, the rubber band powered airplane wings. And this one, I used some of the rubber band airplane wing for the thicker part here. The rest of it's 1/16. It's all really, really thin. I said 1/16 again. It's 1/32. Really thin, both of these. The sides on this are the 1/32. The top is 1/16. And then this piece right here is the rubber band airplane wing. And you can, I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little thinner. It's thicker than the sides, but yeah. And I made some supports the right way, sorta, for the front. I went ahead and broke everything out that was underneath it, because I realized the two pieces that were here, one was probably 1/8 of an inch further over than the one on the other side, and then that caused this to happen. I don't know if you can see it, but this side is actually bowed out further. I did a measurement earlier. I'll go up to the board. Don't want to push on that center board. Just pick a random spot. We'll go with that line. I'll explain those lines later. Let's see where that's at. Maybe we'll go this way with it. Double check how I did. Okay. So, quite a bit off. It's going to have to be pushed in when I glue the bottom on, which I haven't made the bottom yet. The top's not glued in. This piece is glued to the top, but it's not glued into the boat. And I did put a piece of basswood strip in here to keep the back flat. I'm going to close this back in and probably close the front right here. Like I said, I'm just winging this. I have no stencils or nothing. These were the cross braces that I had in the other frame. One is Poplar from a Sears Silvertone 1956 acoustic guitar that was broken beyond repair. And then the other one was bamboo. Same bamboo. Right here. Same stuff. I've got just enough room in here underneath this interior area, whatever it's called. This is Orlando Hunter size motor. It's not really a good motor. It could fit right up underneath there. Plenty of room. I have that thought, but the motor's not very fast or powerful really, without a gearbox on it especially. But I do have a motor that I was thinking, a brushed motor, another brushed, that I was thinking about using on it. I might not. This is I put the Orlando JST on it, but the motor is a Losi Micro T motor. Pretty damn fast. So, I don't know. I might go brushless with it eventually. There's just not a lot of room underneath the hull. I said hull, underneath floor. This motor would definitely be a squeeze for right here, for this area. It would fit, but it would probably be in the way of the V, because I am making it a V bottom. But if I moved it forward, which the weight would be okay forward on this because it is a very deep hole in the front. Planning on putting the batteries in the front too. I think in the front a bigger motor would work. Middle area. I'm saying bigger motor, and these are, I mean, even the Losi Micro T is still thumbnail size. That's my thumb next to a Losi Micro T motor. Not much difference. And the Orlando motors are quite a bit smaller. That's a comparison of a Losi Micro T and an Orlando motor, minus the gearbox. So, trying to figure it out. Not sure which way I'm going to go with it. Might use this thing on it. I thought about going dual motor on it. That's why I cut these, or drew these little boxes the way they are. It'd be like an access panel for the motors. If I put them up here, that would mean the motors would be underneath Mr. Captain, because he would be about right there, somewhere in this area to drive the boat. Of course, I'm not going to use him in there, I don't think. He's kind of tall. Anyway, I'm not sure what the hell I'm doing. Just bored. Trying something different. Freehand, freestyle, winging it, whatever you want to call it. And that's 3 total right there. That absolutely no stencils, patterns, whatever from the internet, or I guess you call them merchants. I haven't bought anything for these. This one I drew on paper before I made it. I cut each one out, traced them. I drew it, traced it, cut out the tracings, traced out the patterns on the wood. I mean, I made my own stencils for this one. This one, there was absolutely no stencils made. I did make a template for the sponson side, but no stencils. The way that I made the sponson sides, if I can find that piece of wood, it's in here. It's a little thicker wood. There's airplane wing, rubber band airplane wing, inside sponson template. That's literally how I made these sponsons. So I just used that, cut 2 of them out, filed them, sanded them, which now the little emery board things about had it. So and this one I don't know. I have no idea. My dad owned a 22-foot cabin cruiser, and I don't know, it didn't look nothing like this. Who knows what it'll turn out like, or if it'll sink. Maybe I'll throw a firecracker in it. Anyway, thanks for watching.